Welcome to this English class, everyone. So this is the distance teaching program. So it is the English for grade 10. We are continuing Unit 8, Girls and Boys. And today we are focusing on Lesson 2, Grammar, have to, has to, don't have to, and doesn't have to. So we meet each other on Friday. So today is Friday, October 8, 2021. Without further, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to comprehend the uses of have to, has to, don't have to, and doesn't have to. And also, you will be able to use have to, has to, don't have to, and doesn't have to in writing and speaking as well. Last but not least, you will be able to exercise on the prepared tasks of have to, has to, don't have to, and doesn't have to. This means you will learn the theories. You will learn about these phrases, and you can use it with your speaking and writing activities. And also, you will be able to practice doing some exercises as well to strengthen your capacity in English using these phrases, right? Great job, guys. So let's move to check our homework, the previous homework. Last week I gave you one homework, right? So as you can see here, use the modal auxiliary verbs you have learned to make sentences. So make one sentence for each modal auxiliary verb. So let's check it. So for example here, you should exercise every morning. So in this sentence, we have should and exercise. Exercise is underlined to emphasize the verb, and should is bold in order to emphasize the modal verb. So should is a modal verb in this sentence, and exercise is a verb. So you should exercise every morning. Second statement, the trainees must or have to wear the school uniforms. So I put slash here because we can use must. The trainee must wear the school uniform, or we can say the trainees have to wear the school uniform. Okay, because it is an application that they have. So must and have to here as the modal verb, and it's kind of helping verb to have the where is a verb. And number 3, we can overcome the problems. So can is a modal verb, overcome is a verb in this sentence. The last one is, may I borrow your book? So may is a modal verb and borrow is a verb in the question. So we use may here to ask for permission, okay, to ask for permission in a polite way. All right, great job, guys. So let's move on to just make a quick review. Do you still remember what we studied last week? Of course, last week we studied about modal verbs, okay, modal auxiliary verb. So here are some modal auxiliary verbs. We can say, we have will, would, can, could, may, might, must. We also added have to and should as well, because here we have only a limited box here. So we have should and have to as well. So as you can see here, we use each modal verb based on the type of it, based on what the purpose that we want to use it. For example, that ability, when you want to use it to express the ability of someone, you can use can and could. If you want to ask permission, like at the moment, may I borrow your book? So you ask permission from the owner of the book. And if you want to give advice to somebody, you use should. An application must and have to, as a gift. I have given you the previous example. The trainees must or have to wear the school uniform. So it is an application that they have to wear. It is the regulation of the school, right? Last one, possibility, we use might, may, and can and could to talk about something possible to happen, but not really definitely. It's just possible to happen, right? So I think this is enough for just a quick review. So we move on to today's lesson. Have to, has to, and don't have to, doesn't have to. So I have a few questions for you. So the first question, what are the forms of using these grammar points? So what are the form of using this grammar points? You try to think about this question. The second one, how do we use the subject pronouns? Do you still remember subject pronoun in English? I, you, we, they, he, she, it with this grammar point. How do we use those subject pronouns with this grammar point? The last question I want to ask you, why do we need to study them? Why do we need to study these phrases? Have to, has to, don't have to, and doesn't have to. Keep in your mind and try to think, try your thing independently, yeah? And I hope that you will come up the idea. So let's go along with me with this one, get along here. So yeah, so we have three different forms, right? When we talk about the basic sentence structure. So the first one is about a positive form. So we have subject, we place have to or has to according to the subject pronoun or the subject, yeah, and UV plus verb, yeah. So if negative, we just add don't or doesn't after the subject or for the verb, yeah. So as you can see, subject plus don't or doesn't plus have to plus verb. Question, use does, do and does here plus the subject plus verb, and we have a question mark at the end. So here are the three basic forms of using these phrases in English grammar. So I will give you the example of each, don't worry. So how do we use subject pronouns with this grammar point? Let's check the subject pronoun first. So when we use have to, we use with the subject pronoun like I, you, we, and they. So we have four subject pronouns here used with have to. And if you want to use has to, you can use three subject pronouns, he, she, and it. Okay. And one more thing, if you want the negative form with don't have to, you can use, which is the same to have to as well. You use I, you, we, they. And if you want to use doesn't have to, it also the same to has to. The subject pronoun you have to use are he, she, and it. Yeah. So here are the rule of it. So one more thing, I just want to add some information about have to. If you have two different names of people, for example, Dara and Dari, so you can say Dara and Dari have to. But if you use only one singular person, for example, Sam or Sok or Sao or Dari, you can use Dari has to plus, yeah. And the negative form are the same. If you use only one subject, a singular subject, you use doesn't have to. If you use a plural subject like Dari and Dara, we use don't have to. All right. So let's get started to check the examples of each phrases. Okay, let's check the example number one, which is about I, you, we, and they. So we have to and don't have to. You can see here. So I, you, we, they have to. We can say I have to, you have to, we have to, they have to wear a mask. So we can make a sentence, I have to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask. That we have to wear a mask. They have to wear a mask. Or we can say I, you, we, they, and with the have to as well to make another sample. Keep social distance. So we can say they have to keep social distance, or we have to keep social distance. Yeah. If we want to use it negative one, we can say you don't have to stay in the dark place, or I don't have to stay in the dark place. We don't have to stay in the dark place. Yeah. Or they don't have to stay in the dark place. Or we have another one, we can say you don't have to join the crowd. Okay, because it is COVID-19, so We are not supposed to join the crowd. Yeah. Or they don't have to join the crowd. Yeah. So these are the example of have to and don't have to. Right. So let's check with to and doesn't have to. Yeah. So here is the example number 2. He, she, it. And we use with has to and doesn't have to. For example, he has to wear a mask, or she has to wear a mask. Yeah. So the most important is that we use he, she, it with has to and doesn't have to. Just be clear about this one. So we can say, yeah, she has to keep social distance. Yeah. And doesn't have to. Yeah. He doesn't have to join the crowd. She doesn't have to join the crowd, or it doesn't have to join the crowd. Or we can say she doesn't have to stay in a dark place. It doesn't have to stay in a dark place. Yeah. So again, we use he, she, it with has to, and we use he, she, it with doesn't have to as well. And after has to and doesn't have to, we use a verb here. So wear, keep, join, and stay here, right? All of them are verb. So we don't add anything to the verb after this verb phrase. Okay, good. So let's go to check example number 3, which is about the question. Everybody, here is the examples number 3 here, which is about the using have to and doesn't have to in the question form, right? So in the first question form with have to, when we want to ask with that, we use do. Okay, so we can say the subject pronoun we can use with do here. We have I, you, we, they, so we can choose one of them to make sentence. Okay, for example, like, do I have to wear a mask? Or do you have to wear a mask? Or do we have to wear a mask? Or do they have to wear a mask? So we just choose one of these 4 subject pronoun, but we want to make a sentence. Yeah. For example, you are not sure, and then you want to ask your friend. So you say, do I have to wear a mask here? Something like that. And doesn't. So we use with he, she, it here. So sorry, does here we use with he, she, it with have to as well. So that he have to join the crowd, or does she have to join the crowd, or does it have to join the crowd? So we just choose one of these 3 subject pronoun to make one statement, but here just example, so I just put it all together. But when we use it in our daily practice, we use it only one subject pronoun. Remember, we use do I have to wear a mask, or do you have to wear a mask, or does it, yeah, have to join the crowd? Yeah. So here are 2 examples of using have to and doesn't have to in the question form. Yeah. So we move on to practice. Okay. So instruction: use have to, has to, don't have to, doesn't have to fill in the blanks below. So let's check it. So here we have a statement and we have 8 blanks as well. So I will read it for you. After that, while I'm reading, please think about the answer. Which one should be in the blank, in each blank? So here, so we have to, has to, don't have to, doesn't have to. So I'm going to read right now. 1. We blah 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 work online during the COVID-19 pandemic. 2. It blah 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 run faster to win its competitor. 3. You blah 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 be upset with it. It is just a useless thing. 4. She blah 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 buy another motorbike because she has already owned one. It means she has already had one. 5. I blah 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 to register my application or I will be rejected. 6. They blah 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 wear the school uniforms because it is Sunday today. 7. He blah 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 to put on his new school uniform. It is the first school day. 8. You and I blah 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 like our teacher since he has known everything. Yeah. So now it's time for us to check the answer together. I hope that you find out some answer for this exercise. So let's check number one together. What is it? We work online during the COVID-19 pandemic. So we have to work online during the COVID-19 pandemic. It is a good idea to do so. Number two, it run faster to win its competitors. So it have to, or it has to, or it doesn't have to, or it don't have to. Which one? So let's check together. It has to run faster to win its competitor. Yeah. Number three, you be upset with it. It is just a useless thing. So they give you some hint at the back here. So what should it be? Yes, of course it should be. Don't have to be upset with it. It is just a useless thing. Number four, she buy another motorbike because she has already owned one. So they consider it's about doesn't have to and has to, because she we use with these two phrases. So see the meaning of it and choose the correct answer. So let's check it together. She doesn't have to buy another motorbike because what? Because she has already owned one. Yeah. Number five, I to register my application or I will be rejected. So what is it? So we have two choices as well for this one. I just give you some hint to make it easier for you. Don't have to and have to. So I don't have to register my application or I will be rejected, or I have to register my application. So the answer is I have to register my application or I will be rejected. Number six, they wear the school uniforms because it is Sunday today. So today is Sunday. Do they have to wear? Yes or no? The answer is they don't have to wear the school uniform because it is Sunday. Number seven, he to put on mean wear his new school uniform. Yeah, it is the first school day. Yeah, so it is has to. Yeah, she has to wear his new school uniform because it is the first school day. So number eight, you and I. Yeah, this is the two subject combined again, two subject pronoun. So do we use have to or has to with this one? Or we just doesn't have to or don't have to? So let's check the answer together for the last one. So we use don't have to. You and I don't have to lie our teacher since he has known everything. So he has known everything already. So we don't have to lie him, right? So yeah, thank you so much everyone. So this is the end of the practice. So getting to the wrap up activity. So do you still remember what we have learned so far today's lesson? Of course, today we have learned grammar points, which is about have to, has to, don't have to, and doesn't have to. When we talk about have to, we use it in the positive form with the four subject pronouns I, you, we, they, and plural subject as well. And when we talk about has to, we use with the singular subject pronoun he, she, it, and we use with the third person singular as well subject. Yeah, he, us, he, she, it, and the name of one person. Yeah, like Som, Dara, something like that. Don't have to, we use in the negative form with I, you, we, they. Yeah, and doesn't have to, we use with he, she, it, and the name of a person when we use it in negative form. And if we want to change it to the question with have to, and the subject are you will use do you have to blah blah blah. And if you want to use the question with subject pronoun he, she, it, we use does. Okay, so does he have to blah blah blah, right? So this is just a quick wrap up activity for our today lesson. Thank you so much everyone. So it's time for homework. I hope that you will do this homework and then send it to me before the deadline. So make 4 sentences using have to, has to, don't have to, and doesn't have to. So we have 4 verb phrases here. So we have have to, has to, don't have to, doesn't have to. So one phrase you have to make one sentence only. So there will be 4 sentences. So let's check example here. For example, you have to follow the school regulation. So follow have to here. Yeah, you can see the form here, verb phrase, and follow is the verb here, and he doesn't have to take it too serious with useless things. So doesn't have to here, which is negative form, using with he here, subject pronoun third person singular here, and the verb take here. All right. So just make 4 sentences about each of these phrases. All right. One phrase, one sentence. There will be 4 sentences that I want you to make in order to practice more. Okay, at home. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for your participation. I hope that you stay safe and sound with your family member. You can follow up us at the Chừng page here and also the YouTube channel, especially. You can see these teaching videos on my YouTube channel on at Chừng. Yeah, you can search here and then you can see. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye. Good luck.